You know what's wild? The average American spends more time planning their next vacation than planning their entire retirement. We'll research hotels for 3 hours, compare flight prices like we're cracking the Da Vinci Code, but ask someone about their 401k, and they look at you like you just asked them to explain quantum physics in Spanish. Here's the thing. If you're between 35 and 44 right now, you're in what I call the retirement danger zone. You're not old enough to panic, but you're definitely too old to keep saying, "I'll deal with it later." So today, I'm breaking down a dead simple retirement plan for 2026 that actually works for busy adults who don't have time to become finance nerds. But first, real quick. If you're tired of generic money advice that sounds like it came from a 1987 textbook, hit that subscribe button. We make finance make sense without the boring stuff. All right, let's get into it. Let's be honest, most retirement advice sounds like this. Just max out your 401k, diversify your portfolio, and invest in low-cost index funds. Cool. Thanks, financial advisor who probably golfs on Wednesdays. But what does that actually mean when you're juggling a mortgage, 2 kids, student loans, and you're pretty sure you spent $47 on DoorDash last week without even thinking about it? Here's the reality. According to the Federal Reserve's 2025 data, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 35-44 is around $45,000. Sounds okay, right? Wrong. Financial experts say you should have roughly 2 to 3 times your annual salary saved by age 40. So if you're making $75,000 a year, you should ideally have $150,000 to $225,000 tucked away. Yeah, most people aren't even close. And before you spiral into an existential crisis, breathe. You're not doomed. You just need a plan that doesn't require a finance degree or sacrificing your entire social life. Here's a move most YouTubers won't tell you because it's not sexy. In 2026, the IRS raised 401k contribution limits to $23,500 per year, or $31,000 if you're 50 or older with catch-up contributions. But here's the hack. Instead of trying to max that out overnight, use the invisible raise method. Every time you get a raise, a bonus, or even a cost of living adjustment at work, immediately increase your 401k contribution by at least half of that raise. Let's say you get a 4% raise. That's an extra $3,000 a year if you make 75Ks. Bump your 401k contribution by $2,500 annually. You still get to enjoy half the raise in your paycheck, but you're building wealth on autopilot. You won't even miss the money because you never got used to having it. Most people blow their raises on lifestyle inflation. Bigger apartments, fancier cars, more subscriptions they forget to cancel. This way, you're locking in long-term security without feeling the pinch. If you're making over $165,000 as a single filer or $246,000 married, you can't contribute directly to a Roth IRA anymore. The IRS isn't letting high earners get those sweet tax-free gains in retirement. But here's the loophole that's still legal: the backdoor Roth conversion. Here's how it works. You contribute to a traditional IRA, which has no income limits, then immediately convert it to a Roth IRA. Boom. You just sidestepped the income restriction. Now that money grows tax-free forever, and you won't owe taxes when you pull it out in retirement. Why does this matter? Because Roth accounts are one of the few places where the IRS says, "Congrats, you played the game right. Keep your gains." In 2026, you can still contribute up to $7,000 per year to an IRA, $8,000 if you're 50 plus. That's $7,000 that can turn into potentially 6 figures by the time you retire, completely tax-free. Most people don't know this exists. Now you do. You know what the biggest enemy of retirement savings is? It's not the stock market, it's not inflation, it's you. Specifically, it's you saying, "I'll contribute more next month when things calm down." Spoiler alert, things never calm down, so here's the move. Automate everything. Set up automatic transfers from your paycheck into your 401k and IRA. Set up automatic increases every January. Most 401k plans let you schedule a 1-2% annual bump. Why does this work? Because humans are terrible at voluntary savings. We're wired to spend what we see, but if the money never hits your checking account, you can't spend it on stuff you don't need. It's the financial equivalent of hiding vegetables in a smoothie. You're tricking yourself into being responsible. Tax refund, bonus, inheritance, sold something on Facebook Marketplace for way more than you expected? Here's the rule. 1/3 goes to retirement, 1/3 goes to debt or emergency fund, 1/3 is guilt-free fun money. In 2026, the average tax refund is sitting around $3,000. That's $1,000 straight into your IRA or 401k, $1,000 toward crushing high-interest debt or beefing up your emergency fund, and $1,000 to blow on something that makes you happy. You get to enjoy life and secure your future. Most advice tells you to save 100% of windfalls, which is why nobody actually does it. This method works because it's realistic. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about what's different in 2026. First, the markets are weird. We've seen everything from AI stock booms to inflation cooling off to interest rates finally stabilizing. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect time to invest. Here's the truth. There's never a perfect time, but historically, people who stayed invested through chaos did way better than people who tried to time the market. Since 1928, the S&P 500 has returned an average of about 10% annually. Yeah, some years sucked, but over 20-30 years, the people who kept contributing won. Second, Social Security is not your retirement plan. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to be depleted by 2033 unless Congress acts. Even if it doesn't disappear, benefits might get cut by around 20%. If you're in your late 30s or early 40s right now, you need to plan like Social Security is a bonus, not your foundation. Third, and this is huge, healthcare costs in retirement are skyrocketing. Fidelity estimates that a 65-year-old couple retiring in 2025 will need around $315,000 just to cover healthcare expenses in retirement. That's not living expenses. That's just keeping yourself alive and healthy. That's why accounts like HSAs, health savings accounts, are criminally underrated. If your employer offers a high-deductible health plan with an HSA, max it out. In 2026, you can contribute up to $4,300 as an individual or $8,550 for a family. It's triple tax advantaged. Tax deductible going in, grows tax-free, and tax-free when used for medical expenses. After age 65, you can use it for anything without penalty. You just pay regular income tax, like a traditional IRA. It's basically a secret retirement account disguised as health insurance. So where does that leave you? Look, I get it. Retirement feels far away. There's always something more urgent. Car repairs, the kids' braces, that thing your house is doing that's definitely going to cost 4 figures to fix. But here's the deal. Future you is counting on present you to not screw this up. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to become a day trader or start listening to finance podcasts at 5 a.m. You just need to start. Automate your contributions. Use the invisible raise strategy. Take advantage of backdoor Roths and HSAs. Follow the 1/3 rule for windfalls. Do that, and in 20 years, you'll be the person sipping coffee on a Tuesday morning while everyone else is stuck in traffic. And that's worth way more than whatever you were going to spend that $50 a week on anyway. If this helped, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me which step you're starting with. Subscribe if you want more no BS money advice that actually makes sense. And remember, retirement isn't about stopping work. It's about having the freedom to choose what you do with your time. Now go automate something.